Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am cranking these videos out. I took a few days off and played hooky, so I'm back. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep it short, simple, get to the meat and potatoes, no intro. Like, share, subscribe to this video, comment below. Also, everything that I state is allegedly my opinion. Sometimes it's entertainment purposes only, but not today. Today, we're reporting a serious matter. It could be triggering for some people. It could have happened to you or someone in your family. But let me go ahead and get this housekeeping out of the way. This is the Copyright Act of 1976. This is under the section of 107 for fair use, for news reporting, teaching, and sometimes criticism, but today it's for news reporting and all that good jazz. So let's go ahead and remove that. And you can see the title, Detroit Police Wrongly Convicted a 14-year-old DaVontae Sanford. Now, this happened over a decade ago, but this is in real time happening now. I think, I'm not sure, but I know it's been in the last few months. Imagine your child, which we see police lights and we want to be nosy and go out and see what's going on. So DaVontae heard a big ruckus. He went outside to go see what was happening a few houses down, and he gets arrested at 14 in his pajamas. But don't take it from me. I want you guys to hear this from, let's see here. Is this the one? Let's see. Yeah, that's it. I want you guys to hear from the people who are commentary. This is off of TikTok. This is off of Marley_Bell. And I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not going to read that. And this is also from Crime. They received their information from Crime Watch. So let's listen.
Is it possible this skinny 14-year-old killed 4 people? Confessed to it.
I started shooting them with my men.
Okay, I don't mean to stop it, but what you're seeing on Crime Stop, they're playing the actual interrogation right here in that corner in the bottom right. That bald guy's the police. He's the policia in Detroit, but that's DaVontae at 14. They're talking to him. I don't know where his mom was. I don't know. And I'm not blaming the mom because you never know with these policias how they be trying to keep parents out and all this stuff. But anywho, let it finish.
But here's the problem. So did this guy.
Did you get somebody in there? Yeah.
Once again, I'm stopping, trying to let you guys know this particular guy, they caught on another charge, which you will hear, and he's confessing to the murks, that the unalivings that happened of the 4 people. And this is crazy because why did it take them almost whatever years to get this child out of there? Let me go ahead and let you guys finish.
Male, female, what? 3 guys and a leader, female in the house.
It's rare for police to get one confession in such a heinous crime. But 2 people come forward, both claiming to be the killer?
How many times have you shot your gun? What did you use here? AK-47.
And here's the other big question in this case of dueling murder confessions.
That's DaVontae in the green, and that's the other guy that they caught on some other charges, and he started confessing. So I just don't get it, but I'm gonna let this thing play.
Was the right guy sent to prison?
How does something like this happen?
For 10 years, I was a crime reporter in Detroit, and I can tell you a shooting on the city's east side isn't all that uncommon. But 4 young people gunned down with an AK-47 assault rifle, that's a big story.
Quadruple homicides don't happen very often. It is a very major crime.
The murder of 3 men and 1 woman became known as the Runyon Street Slayings. Detroit police initially believe it's a robbery gone horribly wrong.
It was in the headlines. It was in the press. And I think the police felt a lot of pressure to solve it quickly.
The most shocking headline was who Detroit police said pulled the trigger. A 14-year-old half-blind special education teenager roaming the neighborhood in his pajamas.
The kid, they convinced themselves somehow knew something about this crime. Bingo, close the case. No muss, no fuss.
14-year-old DaVontae Sanford saw cop lights and yellow police tape at the neighbor's house. His mom, Tamiko, tells our Andrea Isom he just wanted to go see what was going on.
You said don't go.
Okay, let me let it play.
He did. And then the nightmare began.
Basically, going outside cost him his life, going outside cost him his youth, cost him his innocence, cost him everything just by going outside.
Police first noticed DaVontae after a police dog sniffing for clues wandered up to DaVontae in a park adjacent to the crime scene. Cops asked the shivering 14-year-old if he saw anything.
And initially, he said that he knew something about the killers, and he named some kids in the neighborhood he thought might have been involved.
Attorney David Moran says around 4 o'clock in the morning, police asked permission from DaVontae's grandmother to take him down to the station to answer more questions. She signs off for the teenager to go alone.
For reasons that I
Okay, so that answers my question because I'm listening to this with you guys. I didn't pre-listen to it, So my whole thing is the grandmother, if she doesn't have, guardianship over him, why didn't they talk to the mother? But I don't know. These are questions I'm asking. So let's continue to listen.
cannot possibly figure out, the police decided that he had something to do with the murder and interrogated him that night without an adult present.
Police chose not to videotape DaVontae's first interrogation.
Tell me what those interrogations were like for him.
For a 14-year-old boy alone without an adult present, it must have been terrifying.
They eventually
Not only 14, he has special needs, and one is his eyes, blind also, but he has a learning disability. So for me, that already burns me up because you shouldn't even have that child in there by himself, period. No attorney, no nothing. I don't care what grandma signed.
take
Sorry.
DaVontae home, but later that night they come back to pick up the teenager again for more questioning.
They said, no, we know that you know more about this than you're letting on. We think you were involved. And so he tells them what they want to hear. And he tells them this story that's just baloney.
According to police reports, after hours on the hot seat, DaVontae tells them he and 3 buddies went to rob the house and ended up shooting 4 people inside.
He said that they threw the guns in a grassy lot as they ran away from the killings, and no guns were found there. So everything was wrong. Everything was wrong, which is a sure sign that they were barking up the wrong tree.
But the final nail for DaVontae? A detective says DaVontae drew this diagram of the murder scene and marks exactly where each victim was shot. Now look closely. This is a drawing by a detective at the crime scene. Side by side, you can see the location of the bodies is nearly identical. That information is something police say only the killer would have known.
Police relentlessly, hour after hour, will tell the person, we know you did it. We know you're not saying it. You're not telling the truth, until eventually they get them to talk. And then once they get them to talk, they turn on the camera.
As soon as we got out the car, we ran from the front yard and started busting at the house. Everyone shot their gun at the house from the outside. We all ran up on the porch and went inside. Set up for it.
That's the back of DaVontae's head. He's
Yeah,
only
right
14, so police don't show his face.
And I started shooting them with my men.
Okay, he's only 14 and they don't show his face. But so you know his age, he's in pajamas. You know this is a child, but you don't show his face. You don't turn on the camera until you got what you want. After drilling him, baby, I wish you would try that ish with me and mine. I wish you would think I'm gonna sign off. I wish you would think that you're gonna take my baby. Even my young men right now, even at the grown age they are, I still would be there at that police station, baby. And if I got to sell my draws to get an attorney, I would do it. Y'all don't pay me no attention because I don't play about mine. And I'm not saying this mama don't play about hers. But I'm still trying to understand, why did grandma sign off? And what, I don't know, because mama's saying that she told him not to go and he went. So were you there, told him not to go, or were you on the phone? Once you find out grandma signed, did you go and say, hey, she didn't have authority to do that? I'm just lost in the sauce, y'all, and I'm pissed off. But let me keep going.
Okay. Is that correct? Yes.
Remember, the teenager reportedly could only read on a third grade level, so the detective asks simple yes or no questions.
How many times will you guess you shot your gun? I'm not sure, but I would say about 9 to 10 times. Is that correct? Yeah. Has anyone threatened or promised you anything for your statement? And your answer was no.
And they get what looks like a convincing confession.
24 hours later, Detroit police closed the case of the Runyon Street murders. They've caught their killer.
With that confession, and seemingly that confession alone, DaVontae Sanford was convicted of murdering 4 people. He was sentenced to 37 to 90 years in prison. His family was in shock.
When you heard conviction, then up to 90 years, did it take your breath away?
Yes. I was in a hallway in a courthouse that I can remember, just hollering and screaming.
But less than a month later, a bombshell that should have blown this closed case wide open. A self-professed hitman, 25-year-old Vincent Smothers, tells Detroit cops he's been on a killing spree.
He says, look, you got me. I'm a hitman. He said, turn on the cameras and I'll tell you about all the hits I've committed.
Did you kill anybody in there? I'm sure 3 guys who did. How about the female? I'm not sure. What did you use here? AK-47.
But detectives were not expecting this.
Just on run you with the street.
He starts on tape, videotape, in graphic, extraordinarily accurate detail describing 12 murders that he committed, including the 4 on Runyon Street.
DaVontae Sanford, at 14 years old, was sitting in a maximum security prison facing the possibility of 90 years behind bars.
Now, y'all heard what they said a month later. A month later, they got this guy, he confessing to everything, telling where the body, sorry. Telling where the unalive victims were laying. He's telling everything. Only the merc would know, the person who murked them. He's telling everything.
Sentenced as an adult for a grisly quadruple murder, Detroit police say he willingly confessed to.
Why are you telling me about the shooting on Runyon?
This joker right here, that bald joker,
Because it was getting to
he gonna get it.
Told me to tell
God
you
gonna
the
get
truth.
him.
You would take his place if it were possible.
Yes. Yes. I felt that I failed him as a mother because I couldn't help him.
Taminko Sanford says she never believed for 1 minute her little boy was capable of murdering anyone.
If you had to describe him to people who don't know him, what words would you use?
He have a heart like gold. He's everything that a mother would want their son to be.
Still, DaVontae's original attorney, Robert Slomika, whose law license has been suspended, somehow convinced Taminko that pleading guilty to the murders was her son's only hope of ever getting out of jail.
Slomika tells the family that the case is hopeless and he...
I'm waiting for this day for I may be able to.
Sorry about that. This part right here is, let me get that off. I don't need that anymore. This part is where the mother that you seen talking was saying she felt him. This is her current day at the trial. And as you can see, it says after being framed and imprisoned and losing sight in one eye, the police compensated $7.5 million. And this is the officer sitting there crying like ooh, you sitting there crying now, but God ain't done with you. But the thing is that, how can I say this? I know sometimes people feel an attorney, the police or whoever, the district attorneys and all these people gonna do right by them. Baby, the only person gonna do right by you when it comes to your child is God. Is God. I know you trusted that attorney, but when he told you that and you know your baby didn't do it, you know, oh no. Oh no. Because I would have, oh baby, it was a lot of mistakes. I'm not saying that, I can't put myself in her shoes, but I know what I would not do. I know I would not allow my 14-year-old to be talked to without representation. As a parent, you can be in and when they're investigating and they're going through everything, you can be in there. They cannot speak to your child without your permission, because at that moment they're fact finding, they're doing their discoveries and everything to find out, did he do it, did he not? And then they brought him home and came back and got him. I'm not blaming grandma, but what I'm saying is I don't know the situation between mom and grandma. Did grandma have custody? If not, when grandma signed off that paper, everything that he stated should have been thrown out if the right attorney knew what he was doing, because she did not have legal rights to sign off for him to be taken. But that's depending on what's going on with mom and grandma. I don't know if grandma had custody or what. So anywho, let me let y'all listen to the mother at her son's trial when he's being when he came back to the trial, and this is where the 7.5 million and the officers up there. But listen to what she got to say.
Speak from my family and speak to you.
He killed 4 people and only spent 9 years in prison before being released. Turns out it was all a conspiracy by the local police. DaVontae Sanford's wrongful conviction story continues, a fight against a flawed system. After years of unwavering persistence, DaVontae's case finally saw a glimmer.
This is DaVontae as an adult.
Of hope. With a new law mandating recorded interrogations, Michigan State Police unearthed significant errors in the investigation, including a crime scene sketch falsely attributed to DaVontae, actually drawn by an officer. Armed with this new evidence and relentless advocacy from his attorney, state prosecutors were compelled to overturn his conviction. After 9 long years behind bars, DaVontae was freed.
That's him right there. Let me go back.
Long years behind bars.
That's him smiling. I know he's happy, but my heart breaks for him because he was a child. I could not imagine my 2 sons, either one of them, having to go through this. At 14, grown men go into, and he had to go in an adult prison, not a child prison. I am so upset about this. And I understand he's out now, but there is no amount of money can give him back his innocence. And on top of that, I don't like the word special needs. He's a special gift, a special angel. Because if you look on my page, that's, I started because I wanted to talk about autism. But I don't know if I want to start a different page, but I have an autistic child, and I could not, this is really, I'm talking about triggering you guys. This is triggering me because I couldn't imagine when you're dealing, autism is on so many different spectrums. And my son also has ADHD. And for me, if you know anything about an autistic child, number one, he was so out of his element. This poor child at 14, he didn't have anyone that protected him. And I'm not saying his mother did. I'm not saying his mother or grandma. I don't know their situation. I don't know their level of education. I don't know. But what I'm stating is this child could not consent to anything. He could not. And after they found out a month and this person was convicted or whatever, it shouldn't have taken 9 more years for this child, this grown man, to get out of prison. This is an injustice. Shame on you, the Detroit Police Department. Shame on that Black police officer. Shame on all of you that failed this child and now this man. And I'm going to keep DaVontae in my prayers. I'm not saying the mother, she's not hurt. She loves her baby. But I'm telling you, as a mother of a special gifted child, there is no way. Let me calm down. There is no way. No way. I have taken on principals, school boards. I will take anybody on about mine except God. And I mean that. I take my last breath for mine. Last breath. And if I didn't know, I would find somebody who could help me. I would be trying to study everything I could. But the first thing I would have done, if my grandmother, my mother, his grandmother, signed for them to get him and she don't have custody, oh baby, y'all better release my son, because I didn't give any legal permission to take him. Any legal permission. She didn't have, if she was not his guardian or had any legal stance, she could not give that. I'm in my feelings. Yes, I am. Let me turn this thing back on.
DaVontae was freed, but his quest for justice was far from complete. Today, DaVontae isn't just a free man, he's a beacon of hope. He founded Innocent Dreams, an organization dedicated to aiding the wrongfully convicted. Let's ensure his voice and story inspire change. Share to support DaVontae and protect the innocent.
Okay, let me stop that. Let me stop sharing. I wish I would have kept it on there, but let me read this really quick, what some of the people were stating on TikTok. And this is from Ford X Hurdle. No, let me see. Let me go back up. Let me put that on mute. Let me go back up. Okay. That clip I just showed, I want to shout out Court Screen 6. Court Screen 6 is where I got that from. Some of the people were stating in comments, the judicial system totally ruined that young boy's life. There's thousands more like that across America, which is true. This person say, what happened to his eye? It wasn't like that before he went to jail. This person says, so many people. He is innocent, sad, 100. Thank God they got the person. And some people just like, they just happy he's out. But they say one person say cops are normal people in a uniform. They are the biggest criminals in America. You are correct. And if you guys ever have an issue with any police or any type of, I think police, but I don't know, it's called the Brady list. You go on there and you put that person's name in and the state you're in, and it'll let you know if they've been investigated, anything going on with them. So anywho, this person said right here, police have a long history of coercion and wrongful convictions to Black males. They sure do. The judicial system is not flawed. It's rigged against Black people. This is America. And she said, KKK, America. It's to be expected. And this person said, why do the investigators want anyone convicted instead of putting the time in to catch the real criminal? And that's my case in point. My case in point is, and this person said, praise your divine and powerful doings and will, where there is a glimmer of hope. I'm sorry, child. I'm sorry. Let me drink me some water. Hold on. Give me a minute. The sinuses and the pollen. Okay. And I'm with the other person. Why did they rush? This was like 4 people unalive. How did you think you're going to get that in 24 hours? You know, we're not on what channel is that do 24 hours investigations. I forgot the channel. But that's not what it, and even with them, when the 24 hours are the clock stop running, they still working, and they'll say that at the end and they'll probably give you the results or whatever. But this right here just really, really saddened me. And I want to show you guys the homecoming. I want to show you guys the homecoming that he had. Let me go ahead and share this. This is from Jail Tales 88 on TikTok. Jail and Tales, Tales 88. And this is his homecoming with him hugging his mother. And this person just said this was back in 2023, saying they needed a good lawyer ASAP. This person said, let me see. These officers are the worst. Sue, 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 please sue. Okay, this was long before, but he sued. And this is, let's see, who is this? Okay. And I want to also thank ABC World News. So let's listen.
Embrace DaVontae Sanford thought he might never get. Hugging his mom as a free man for the first time in nearly 9 years.
What was the hardest part when you're behind bars and you're so young?
Knowing I'm in there for something I didn't do.
23-year-old Sanford walked out of this Detroit area prison Wednesday, charged when he was just 14 of murdering 4 people. Sanford, who is blind in one eye, was picked up by police near the scene of the crime. His attorney saying he was coerced at the time into falsely confessing after 2 days of interrogation.
DaVontae talks about the police officers who befriended him and then coerced him into a confession.
A convicted hitman who's already in jail admitted to the murders just weeks after Sanford's conviction.
Did you hear that? Just weeks after. Now they picked him up for other crimes a month after DaVontae had been sentenced and was serving his time. So you telling me that nobody said, let's get this child out of the prison, not jail, but the prison?
Prosecutor tonight defending the handling of the case.
I can't be a Monday morning quarterback. We had a good reason to charge.
Sanford.
Shut up. Heifer, shut up. Defending the charge. If that was your child, what would you do? That heifer sitting up there talking about, oh boy, just shut up.
Saying he's not bitter.
I was angry when I was in, but I'm home now. So I'm not angry anymore.
And David DaVontae's first meal as a free man, Chinese food. He says he's now looking forward to getting his driver's license. David.
Uh-oh, sorry about that. You know what? I was mad. Let me stop sharing. I'm gonna stop. Y'all know sometimes I get in my feelings, and I'm in my feelings. I didn't mean for this to go long, but this is why I did this particular video just by itself, because I knew it was gonna be lengthy. All I can tell y'all is that for me, we have so many of our Black men in prison, in jail. Some of them are innocent. Some of them are in jail for small amounts of cannabis. I just don't understand. Why does the judicial system feel, and I'm not saying everybody in there is innocent, but when you take a 14-year-old child that's in his pajamas, and I know they had to know at certain points that he was not at his age level. He was 14, but mentally that's not where he was at. You could have talked to him, because when he hugged his mother on that video from the homecoming, if you guys rewind and go back, you'll see how he still pet her. Like he touched her. Like, listen, this touches me because like I said, I'm a mother of a son with special gifts, special, as they say, needs. But at the end of the day, I protect him with my life. I protect him. I don't shelter him because I want him to know how cruel the outside world can be, but I protect him with my life. I'm very, 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 and not just him, both of my young men. I'm very, very particular. And when they were growing up, I didn't play about no sleepovers. And if kids came over, oh, y'all gonna play where I could see you. I'm never too busy that I'm gonna be in the house and they outside playing or they inside playing the game. That door is open. I'm walking by, I'm bringing snacks. And if you get routed with mine, I'm gonna send your butt home. I never allowed them to do sleepovers, even with relatives, even with family members. I did not. I did not. If you want to stay over, you're gonna stay over to my house, baby. And when I go to sleep, y'all going to sleep. And I slept. If the wind blew something, I was up. I feel for the mom too, because she said that she feel like she failed him, but the one thing she never did, she never just walked away. She still was out fighting for him. And I want to give her kudos. I know I said in the beginning what I would have done, but I can't put myself in her shoes because I would fight and do something different. She was working with what she had, and she never gave up, and she still fought for her son. So within stating that, this one here touched me a lot. We just got to keep our Black men, young men, prayed up and hope that they never get caught up like this, but we know that they will, because that's the system was designed to, this is my opinion. I feel allegedly the system was designed to imprison and prison our Black men. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. I'll say allegedly because I have to, but anywho. Until next time, like, subscribe. Listen, I'm not cutting that out. It is what it is. Like, subscribe, share, comment below. Guys, I'm just on an emotional roller coaster right now. Emotional roller coaster. Okay. But anywho, I love you guys. Have a great Tuesday. Peace and so. Mwah.